Coming up on UCF Nightly News. A new COVID vaccine has a 90% efficacy rate. Stay tuned to find out when it could be available for students.
Students graduating this semester will have the opportunity to customize their commencement slide. Learn how to do it and what the student government president has to say.
The state is expanding the Stand Your Ground law. Find out what this means for Floridian safety.
In sports, UCF basketball announced their non-conference schedule. Find out what games they'll play this season.
Nightly News starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to Nightly News. I'm Fritz Farrow.
And I'm Lexi Vazquez. Today is Friday, November 13th, 2020. The United States is reporting over 1 million new COVID-19 cases in the month of November. The Johns Hopkins University COVID database is showing a surge of COVID-19 cases, with the U.S. leading all countries in both positive cases and COVID-related deaths. States like Illinois and Wisconsin are reporting record daily highs, with the two tallying over 12,000 cases and over 7,000 cases, respectively. President Donald Trump and multiple medical companies are working toward a vaccine through an initiative called Operation Warp Speed, which aims to have a viable vaccine distributed by the end of 2020. As of now, a vaccine has yet to be distributed. Here is your coronavirus update. UCF officials report nearly 957 student cases since the start of the semester, with over 56 new cases since last Friday. In Orange County, as of today, the Florida Department of Health reports over 49,000 positive cases and more than 600 deaths. And statewide, as of today, the Florida Department of Health reports over 851,000 positive cases and more than 17,000 deaths. Nationally, Johns Hopkins University reports nearly 10.6 million cases and more than 242,000 deaths.
Pharmaceutical scientists in Michigan are testing a COVID vaccine candidate they say is over 90% effective at preventing the virus. With cases rising, the pressure to find a cure is at an all-time high. Pfizer and German biotech firm are working together to create the first ever safe and effective COVID-19 vaccine. Over 43,000 people are participating in this trial, with half receiving 2 doses of the vaccine and the other half receiving a placebo. UCF Assistant Professor Dr. Kyle Riding says has his PhD in public health and epidemiology. He says based off of Pfizer's data, this 2-part vaccine series could be available to students as early as spring.
There's no contraindication. This is proven to be safe by the data that will be provided to the FDA. There is absolutely no reason why someone should not get vaccinated. The FDA is not going to ram something through, nor is Pfizer going to bring something to market if it's not proven to be safe.
Group housing, like nursing homes and college dorms, will be the first to be eligible for the vaccine. With Joe Biden set to become the next president, his second in command is making history. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will be the first woman VP in American history. She will also be the first black woman and first South Asian woman to hold this position. During her first speech as Vice President-elect, she paid tribute to her mother and other women who came before her. On Twitter, Harris says, while she may be the first woman in that office, she will not be the last.
In the meantime, President Trump is not accepting the result of the election. Tweeting in the middle of the night last night, Trump claims that Biden did not win the election due to fraud. But the New York Times reports that election officials in all 50 states say they found 0 cases of election fraud. Trump administration officials say they are continuing as if they were elected for a second term. Judges are dismissing lawsuits brought forward by the Trump campaign. And in order, Georgia Judge James Bass says the campaign provided no evidence illegal voting took place. A growing list of Republican lawmakers are calling on the federal government to allow President-elect Biden to begin receiving intelligence briefings as part of his presidential transition. Now let's hear from our international correspondent in Spain, who tells us how the country is reacting to the U.S. election.
several Spanish politicians have publicly congratulated Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for their presidential victory. The president of the Spanish government, Pedro Sánchez, wrote a tweet on his personal account, both in Spanish and in English, congratulating Biden and Harris, and he also made reference that Spain is prepared to cooperate with the US and also tackle together the great global challenge. Madrid was this week the headquarters of an international video conference. The aim of this conference was to promote the multilateralism and also make the declaration of the 75th anniversary of the United Nations a reality. Now back to Orlando for some more Nightly News.
Florida's standard ground law is expanding. Governor Ron DeSantis is drafting an anti-mob legislation which focuses on violence regarding protesters. The current law states that a person cannot be charged for killing another if they are in fear for their life. The new change includes giving immunity to drivers who claim to accidentally hit or kill protesters blocking the roads during demonstrations. This comes as a response to police brutality protests taking place in Florida and across the nation. Opposers of the expansion says this could be dangerous and increase violence rather than decrease it. Hey Kai, what's a stitch with the weather for this weekend?
Hey Lexi, I'm glad you asked. Today's actually a pretty gloomy day, but we have a high of 84 and we have an 88% chance of humidity. We have northwest winds coming at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and we have a 3% chance of rain. But as we go into the night, the low is actually 66 with 79% humidity. We have northwest winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and we still have that 3% chance of rain. Back to you, for Lexi and Fritz.
COVID-19 may have Black Friday sales looking a little different this holiday season. Stay tuned to find out how some companies moving their Black Friday sales online could help stimulate the current pandemic-induced economy.
Plus, find out what some local teachers have to say about teaching in the digital world.
One of the busiest shopping days of the year will be looking a little different this coming holiday season. Nightly News reporter Jenna Ehrlich tells us how COVID-19 is already impacting Black Friday sales.
Those wanting to shop Black Friday deals this upcoming holiday season may want to consider trading in their shopping bags for online shopping carts.
Companies around the U.S. are sharing that they will not be having in-person sales the evening of and day after Thanksgiving, otherwise known as Black Friday. eMarketer reports that retailers are bracing for a less hectic holiday season because of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. However, companies should be preparing for a major shift to online holiday purchases. eMarketer reports predict that holiday sales online in the U.S. will surge 35.8% to just under $190.5 billion. UCF economic professor Dr. Anant Krishnamurthy says because of the demand for home goods, holiday sales like Black Friday could help stimulate the pandemic-induced economy in the U.S.
It is likely that demand for goods that increase the quality of life in the home and the quality of work in the home will drive overall demand for holiday sales.
Some companies will also be hosting multiple in-person Black Friday specials throughout the 2020 holiday season to help reduce crowds at stores and therefore the spread of COVID-19. Senior health science major Regina Boozy said she did not like Black Friday shopping in the past because of crowds. Boozy says she is now considering participating in sales this year since deals are spread throughout the month.
I don't know how it's going to go, but I think it is a good idea that they are extending the time so that people can get the items that they want at the prices that are most affordable for them.
Boozy says she's glad companies are extending their Black Friday sales in person and online so they are still able to make their expected holiday profits while shoppers are able to continue their Black Friday traditions. In Orlando, Jenna Ehrlich, UCF Nightly News.
For more information on how to stay safe while shopping holiday deals, visit the holiday section on the CDC website.
COVID-19 will be changing how we normally spend the holidays. The CDC recommends limiting the number of people at family gatherings, avoiding direct contact, and hosting outdoor gatherings. They also say to wear a mask at the dinner table unless you are eating or drinking. If you plan on traveling, remember to protect yourself by wearing a mask, social distancing, and washing your hands. Some students say they are looking for a job to make some extra cash during the holidays. And some companies in Orlando are helping make this a reality by hiring seasonal employees. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that holiday employment continues to decrease each year. The peak employment year was 2013 with 9.5% employment rates, but since then it has gone down. IKEA, Target, Walmart, and other places in Orlando state they are hiring seasonally. UCF Career Services say they have multiple jobs listings on Handshake, some of which are seasonal.
Disney's fourth quarter earnings are out as of last night, and the numbers are surprising. Disney's numbers show that the company's losses are less drastic than anticipated. The Disney company shows over $14 billion in revenue and a 61% decrease. A lot of the company's earnings came from its streaming platform, Disney Plus, which has more than 73 million paid subscribers. Disney estimates the negative impact of COVID-19 on its parks operating income was about $2.4 billion in the fourth quarter.
UCF education professors are modifying the curriculum of their courses since the COVID-19 pandemic hit. I spoke to some teachers who are adapting to teaching in a COVID world. At school for students looks a lot like this. Instead of being in a classroom, engaging with their teachers. Teachers everywhere are trying to adapt to remote and distance learning while keeping up with their personal lives. Taylor Wenzel, UCF professor of elementary education, says there is now a clinical experience for her students to engage with kids through digital learning.
So our students have the opportunity to meet with children for 4 weeks every Wednesday afternoon and to plan engaging instruction in a virtual setting.
Elementary teacher and UCF alumna Allison Augustini teaches 5 students in her classroom and 14 students online at the same time. She says the hardest part about teaching students through digital learning is when the students won't turn on their laptop camera.
I can reinforce it. I can remind them 100 times. And if they don't want to turn it on, they're not going to turn it on.
UCF alumna and elementary teacher Madison Daniel says she misses interacting with her students. Daniel says nothing can replace a teacher.
It doesn't matter if it's a robot, it doesn't matter if it's a Zoom call, a webcam, whatever it is, nothing will ever be able to replace a teacher.
In Orlando, Lexi Vazquez, UCF Nightly News.
For a closer look on how teachers are adapting throughout the pandemic, check out UCF's Centric Digital Component on NSM's website at nsm.today. Some college educational programs in Florida will see budget cuts in the coming months. The University of South Florida is eliminating College of Education undergraduate programs because of budget cuts. Pinellas County School Board resolution letter states the districts around Tampa Bay rely on USF's undergraduate program. The program hires about 600 new teachers each year. UCF Professor of Elementary Education Leanne Spalding says she's sad about the news, but she hopes those students will possibly join UCF.
Recruiting and wanting more and more teacher candidates. Sadly, our numbers have dropped over the last few years.
Spalding says she and other professors are here to provide quality education to anyone who is interested in the field of teaching. The University of South Florida states they also plan to make more cuts and find new sources of revenue and savings by 2022.
The UCF Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico is experiencing a second cable failure, prompting a stop in operations. Engineers on the island are currently reviewing the damage and assessing how to best stabilize the faculty. The observatory is home to one of the most powerful telescopes on the planet, as stated by UCF, and its instruments are used by scientists around the world. Scientists conduct research in the areas of atmospheric and planetary sciences, as well as radio astronomy. Although the faculty is suspending most of its operations, researchers continue to use data previously collected to push ahead with their research.
Coming up, a team of astronauts will be seeing the holiday lights from a very different location this year.
Plus, learn about a UCF-produced Emmy-nominated docu-series about the U.S.-Mexico border.
Award-winning technologies are being developed at UCF. The 2020 Tech Connect Defense Innovation Award recognizes the best technology submitted to the conference for their potential to positively impact national security. Some of the developed technologies on campus include Professor Fudong Liu's study that removes pollutants from engine exhaust, a study from UCF's Renewable Energy and Chemical Transformation. The conference brings private industries and federal agencies together to showcase their technology, but this year it is virtual because of COVID-19. A Break for Impact, a UCF-produced docu-series about the Texas-Mexico border, is nominated for 3 Suncoast Emmys. Nightly News reporter Charlotte Tratner tells us more about the project.
The docu-series, A Break for Impact, shows the Matamoros border camp on the Texas-Mexico border. Legal studies professor Irene Pons, 4 of her students, and director Christine Kane made the trip over spring break. UCF Center for Distributed Learning created 3 different versions of the series. Lead producer Aaron Jose says one version won the Social Awareness Award at the Orlando Film Festival.
To win the Social Awareness Award at the Orlando Film Festival really is proof that the film is starting to do kind of what it was meant to do, which is to raise awareness about what is going on out there, things that are not being covered by the media.
Although originally created for UCF's Immigration Law and Policy class, co-producer Tim Reed says he hopes the film is more than a documentary.
The hope is that A Break for Impact becomes a movement, not just a documentary series, not just something that informs or even enrages people as they see this true humanitarian crisis on our border.
Jose echoes this statement.
It's better for the project if we can see it make a bigger impact this way, where we're, constantly funneling students to these organizations and they're helping.
The producers share while it's exciting the film is nominated, it shows the importance of the series. The group plans to grow the project and go back to Brownsville, Texas during the 2021 spring break. In Orlando, Charlotte Tratner, UCF Nightly News.
A Break for Impact is currently building a website to help connect student volunteers with organizations on the U.S.-Mexico border.
UCF welcomes a new senior vice president for administration and finance. Gerald L. Hector will serve as a key member of leadership to UCF President Alexander Cartwright. Cartwright says in a release that Hector stood out amongst the rest because of his collaborative, compassionate, and focused leadership style that aligns with UCF's values. He's expected to start his new role in January of next year.
If you're graduating this semester, listen up. Virtual commencement is around the corner, but this semester, there's a twist. An announcement from UCF officials states students graduating this semester have the opportunity to customize their recognition slide to be shown during the virtual ceremony on December 19th. UCF Student Body President Sabrina LaRosa says that student government is putting a lot of effort into advocating for students, especially those graduating during the pandemic.
We're really just trying to make the best out of the situation. And I always say you can accept COVID or you can embrace it. And I think UCF's really doing their best to embrace it and just take it and do the best we can.
To decorate your recognition slide, visit ucf.edu/LP/customize graduation. And make sure to do so by Friday, November 20th, so you don't miss out.
As millions try to find space between each other, 4 astronauts will be spending the holiday there together. The joint launch between the United States and Japan will see 3 American and 1 Japanese astronaut journey to space. The SpaceX Dragon launch scheduled for tomorrow will take the astronauts to a 6-month stay on the International Space Station. That means they'll be spending Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, Valentine's Day, and Easter away from Earth. The astronauts underwent a dress rehearsal yesterday afternoon to test out their equipment before the launch. Brevard County spokesperson says he believes there will be up to 250,000 spectators at the launch, but there will be nothing for them to see if there isn't good weather. Kai, will there be good weather for the spaceship to take flight tomorrow?
There absolutely should be. Right now, all the state is in the 80s with a high in 84 in Tampa as well. But as we move into the night, we actually have a low of 55 in Tallahassee, and Miami is the hottest still in the lows with a 76. Now let's take a look at the 5-day forecast. So for Saturday, we actually have a high of 83, and it stays at 80s all the way until Tuesday and Wednesday, where we hit 70s. The lows are all in the 60s except for Tuesday at 59. And on Sunday and Monday, you might want to grab an umbrella, but for the rest of the week, you're fine. And that's all the weather I have for you today. Back to you, Fritz and Lexi.
Speaking of the shuttle launch, Knights, make sure to look up during the Temple game tomorrow. The game starts at 7:30 p.m. and the shuttle is at 7:40 p.m. Stay tuned to find out what else you need to know about the game tomorrow.
Plus, UCF quarterback DJ Mack has entered the transfer portal. Find out what Coach Heupel had to say.
Hey Knights fans, I'm Monica Sealey and I'm bringing you your sports update. Let's get started. Knight Nation, you don't want to miss this. UCF football plays Temple tomorrow at the Bounce House at 7:30 p.m. The Knights are currently 4-2, quite the lead on the Temple Owls, who only have 1-4 streak. And on Twitter this week, UCF football is starting to promote the upcoming war on I-4 with the USF Bulls. The game will take place at the Ray J Stadium in Tampa on November 27th at 3:30 p.m. UCF quarterback Darrell Mack Jr. announced he will be entering the transfer portal. During his time at UCF, Mack took over the offense when Mackenzie Milton injured his leg against USF. He totaled 1,354 yards and 16 touchdowns in 2 seasons. He led the Knights into second straight American Conference Championship, completing a 17-point comeback. Head coach Josh Heupel says Mack grew a lot as a person and a player during his 2 years at UCF.
It's a unique position where typically only one guy gets the opportunity to play, and excited for him and his future wherever that is.
Mack has not seen the field this season because he opted out due to COVID-19 related reasons. He leaves UCF holding the ACC record with 4 rushing touchdowns in a single game. It is unclear which school Mack will be transferring to at this time. And that's it for sports today. Let's toss it back to Lexi and Fritz.
For right now, thanks for joining us. Remember, you can always keep up with us during the week on Twitter at UCF Knightly.
And if you got a story idea you want us to know about, send it our way. You can reach us at UCF Knightly. You can reach us at nightlynews@ucf@gmail.com. Thanks for watching and have a great day.